But then I would say the next layer out from that would be your online marketing, right? And that's where you're going to try to bring new people in. This is easier and better because, again, you have the video from your performer. You know who they're reminiscent of and thus who to target with cold ads. And then the people that respond to that are going to kind of go into a lookalike audience, right? But you can create lookalike audiences for specific dates. So long as you change your pixel after every show, you'll have a pixel for that video. So next time you book that person, you can pull up that old pixel and be like, okay, I'm going to run an A/B test, one with the people that were direct descendants essentially of that first one that did well, and then duplicate a second one, right? And maybe try a few different things in it because there's going to be some variation on your lineup. It's not the exact same lineup.
Right.
So you keep doing that continually, and then eventually after about a year, you'll get enough, you'll be in that fat zone here enough that you can just do billboard ads. And you'll still have this baseline of like 30, $40 on the Facebook ads, but they're so well targeted that you've got a conversion rate of like 30-40%, like 3 or 4 times, like, or 10 times the national average, right? If you do it right, I've gotten 10 times the national average, 40% conversion rates on some of these videos in Colorado because I had the targeting pixels set up the right way and I was targeting the exact people that would like this content.
That's incredible.
Well, it's the tools are right there for you. You just have to take the time to go through and be like, okay, I'm building an audience. I'm building this up. You're like, oh, do you like Rush Limbaugh? Well, you're not going to see my ad. That just saved you money, right? If you know that they're not going to like that.
The tools are there, but you'll make those mistakes, right? Like you said, don't put Comedy Central. That's the first thing I put in my Facebook ad. I was like, Comedy Central, JFL, all that, right? Like, because
put specific comedians in it. Like a lot of them, if you have to.
I did like the big ones, like Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Chappelle. Chappelle is like, again, that's like a last ditch effort. Like Chappelle or Bill
Universal
Burr.
appeal, right? You just don't know. Mulaney.
Well, what I would also go so far as to say is like, they're also not just comedians.
Yes.
They're also in movies and television.
Yeah, they're entertainment in general.
They're entertainment. Yeah. So some people will like somebody just because they're popular to like, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I do that myself too. You know, I like a bunch of Facebook stuff that,
yeah, you don't really like, you just kind of do it to support or something for various reasons. So like, I would go so far as to say is anybody that likes Pete Holmes for his stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Whereas some people might like Chappelle because of the character he played.
Or Brian Regan, right? Like half the country doesn't even know who Brian Regan is. And then if you actually like Brian Regan, a comedian,
you like comedians.
You like stand-up comedy. I get it.
Right. So if you can pump a bunch of more obscure comedians and make a really long list, that goes further than just putting one Chappelle.
Yes.
Like I'll probably put like 30 or 40 comedians in a true cold ad.
Yeah.
Like 30, 40 comedians. And I'll try to put as many, because you can also say, I want you to narrow it further. Like, I want you to like any of these people, but like you have to like Ali Wong or Amy Schumer.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know my headliner is kind of reminiscent of that.
Got it.
Right. And that they're kind of on the front of the ad. Like they're also like if I have like a comedian that's reminiscent of George Lopez, right? And I'm targeting for George Lopez, then I want to make sure that the comedian I'm targeting the most for is the lead comedian in the ad. They're the first thing you see.
Yeah.
Right. So you're also structuring it so that the first thing you see in the ad is what's being targeted. Okay. And taking the time to do that can save you hundreds of dollars on ads and actually make the difference between putting asses in seats with a reasonable ad budget and spending way too much money and failing miserably. I know so many comedians that are like, I've spent like thousands of dollars on ads and I still have 0 turnouts on some of my shows. It's not worth it.
Sure.
And and it's like, don't boost a post. You know what I mean? You have to go to business.
Unless you have the creative, right? Like if you're boosting.
Well, no, you have to go to business.facebook.com.
Yeah.
and go to your actual ads console, your business manager console, and your actual ad manager. And you have to, that's where you actually build and manipulate your ads. The boost function is for people who are just like, I don't want to do it. I just want more people that already like
Sure.
that. Yeah. It's like
You're
boost
not
isn't
targeting
bad,
anyone, right?
but
With
you're not really targeting anyone.
Yeah, I get
Like
it.
it's very vague. It can still give you a lookalike audience if you have tracking pixels running with all that set up. But that being
Yeah.
said, to set all that up, you have to go to the business console. So
Yeah.
you may as well just be using it. Like it's just like you
It's
can schedule
insane.
what time of day your ads and on what
Yeah.
days of the week your ads run. Whereas
Yeah.
if you boost it, it's going to be like, yeah, you a bunch of people looked at it at 4 a.m, half drunk still, and they don't even remember it.
That makes sense. All right. So the first level